you tell me you didn't have any medical bills, you didn't have any lost wages, you didn't have an expert witness, and you went to Winchester and you got a $20 million verdict. Gray, would you mind talking just about your impressions of just the first parts of the trial? Let's do voir dire. Let's talk about openings, just to give the listeners a sense of kind of what happens. Because I think ultimately why we wanted to do this podcast was we've gotten a lot of curious looks, frankly, or not necessarily looks, but questions like, how did you guys do that? You tell me you didn't have any medical bills, you didn't have any lost wages, you didn't have an expert witness, and you went to Winchester and you got a $20 million verdict. How'd you do this? And so one of the motivations for us trying to come together and do this episode is one, gives us an opportunity to continue to refine our practice and learn what we did and where we could improve, because there's always room for improvement. But two, to maybe share the things that did work well for us with others. So we're not the only ones going out and getting justice for people like Charlie Clark. So Gray, if you wouldn't mind kind of kicking us off with, I guess, day one, voir dire.
Yeah. So, most people who try cases in Virginia, if you told them that you spend an entire day on voir dire, they would be surprised. Especially, it's not like a capital murder case it's a case where ultimately we put on 4 lay witnesses. But honestly, you talked about the importance of the opening statement. The opening statement was absolutely important. Voir dire is, and I know you're a big proponent of this, is just as important. And having the right jurors who were right for that case sitting, in the box was super important. And you all took the time. You set it up so that you could get the questions asked that you needed to get asked, even though it wasn't in the format that you wanted. Honestly, that was probably defensive by the judge, just because I think he probably wasn't used to seeing voir dire done the way that we do voir dire. And so I think it was probably just a not being familiar with us and wanting to maintain control, understandably. But yeah, the entire first day was spent doing nothing but voir dire, and it was tedious. I wasn't even the one doing it, but I think from my vantage point, from watching voir dire happen, the connections that were made during voir dire with the jury made all the difference in the world. So by the time that you got to the opening statement, the connection was there. The jury liked us, liked you. They had already determined which side is going to tell us the truth, which side is going to shoot it straight.
Thanks for listening to Courtroom Stories and Tactics by RVA Trial Lawyers. Hosted by Sharif Gray and Niall Abuzaki. Please subscribe and leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or any major podcast platform. Together, we're building a tribe of trial lawyers to remind the world what human life is truly worth, one verdict at a time.